Coming up next on the Retirement Halftime Show, knowing when to let go of a stock that isn't performing like you thought it would, how you can take emotion out of the decision-making process, plus why ETFs may be a better fit for your investment portfolio than mutual funds. And Andrea Morehead reports on the Indiana Diaper Bank, how this investment today will pay dividends well into the future. Now on the Retirement Halftime Show.
You wouldn't play a game the second half the same way you would the first, especially if you have the lead. This is the Retirement Halftime Show, helping you maintain your lead in retirement.
Welcome to the Retirement Halftime Show. I'm Heather McWilliams. Joining us is Alexander Joyce with ReJoyce Financial. Alex, today we are talking about stocks dropping in value. Unfortunately, we're seeing it happening a lot right now. When I think of owning stocks, I think of making money, right? But if you lose more than you gain, is it worth it? For example, I have a stock I did a lot of research in. It dropped by 50%. Should I sell or should I hold?
It's tough, you know? I mean, a drop, you buy, obviously, as you just mentioned, Heather, I mean, you buy equities because you want that side of your portfolio to rise. The opposite of the left side, if you will. Well, you're looking for a little bit more stability, debt securities, bonds. And so equities, you know, there's variance, right? There's going to be upside, there's going to be downside, there's going to be peaks, there's going to be troughs. The question naturally is, at what point does emotion set in where you continue to see this equity go down and down and down in value? Well, depending on the company, right? I mean, we think of Apple or we think of Microsoft, we think of Lilly, we think of large cap style or large cap equities, meaning they have large capitalization. They are gigantic companies. They have $1 trillion valuations. And so generally that would be a stock naturally that would be on sale. And so you should, naturally cost dollar average into that where you're buying more shares at a deeply discounted price. But, over time, it does become, again, emotional. And you say, you know what? At what point should I just kind of cut my losses and say enough is enough? Right. And I think that depending on what the long-term goal is for that position or those equities or that depending on where you are from a risk appetite as well, and how much money you have in that position depends on the length or duration that it takes to get out from underneath of it. Yes. Realizing, meaning selling to realize that gain, such is true with realizing a loss, would be having to sell that position to actually make that real, if you would.
So you talk about this, it makes me think of the oil crisis that happened back in 2015, right? We saw an oversupply of oil and companies saw their share prices decrease, right? So everybody was just dropping those stocks. Yeah. We know that was a temporary thing and it came back. So that's where the emotion comes into play.
It is. You think of ExxonMobil or you think of BP or you think of these large oil manufacturers where something like that is just, it's of course a thing in the past now, but then it was real and it was catastrophic. And it's like, how long can that last? When you think of the same thing, Heather, when we think of like the Great Recession of 2008, right? 2007 through 9, where the market had actually dropped down 53.1%. Now, yes, that took years to recover from. And again, when the market or when an equity drops down 50%, it needs to go back up 100% to be whole. And so given that time, and that hold, if you will, that could take a bite out of somebody's retirement, and you have to apply more time, which is a commodity, towards getting back whole. But again, I think working with a well-rounded advisory firm like ours, because really what it comes down to is how are we funding that equity? Is it in a Roth? Is it in a brokerage account, right? Which makes it taxable, if you will, from a capital gains perspective. Is it in an IRA? Is it what type of asset is it? And then I think once we understand what the, again, short-term, mid-term, long-term goal is, we can make those decisions based on, taxes and based on efficiency to either buy, hold, or sell.
Yeah, and that's what I love about you guys. You're a holistic firm. You do it all. You're a one-stop shop. It is free to come talk to you.
Always.
And you guys are level-headed in your thinking, which I love. If somebody is interested in coming in, giving talking to you, what is the best way to go about doing that?
Naturally they can call, 317-903-9157, or they can go to our website, ReJoyceFinancial.com. As you just mentioned, Heather, it doesn't cost anything, outside of time.
Yeah.
And that is the courage people need to have in the leap of faith that we are asking, if you will, to give us a little bit of time to come in for what we call a visit.
Yeah.
Costless. Never hurts to get a second opinion.
It sure does. And as always, Alex, great information. And we will be right back. Stick around.
Still ahead on the Retirement Halftime Show, making sense of exchange-traded funds, the big benefit ETFs have over mutual funds, plus what to know before getting one of those prepaid spending cards, why they may be right for some people, but not everyone. This is the Retirement Halftime Show.
Don't let anxiety ruin your retirement. Get a second opinion about your current plan. Call the experts at ReJoyce Financial today at 317-903-9157 and see if you're on the right track.
Your financial advisor may have done a great job getting you up the mountain and accumulating wealth, but are they the right one to help you spend it? ReJoyce Financial has a team of wealth strategists, tax professionals, and estate planners that can help you make the most out of what you've saved. A second opinion costs nothing. Call 317-903-9157. That's 317-903-9157 and rejoice in your retirement. You're watching the Retirement Halftime Show, powered by ReJoyce Financial.
Well, welcome back to the Retirement Halftime Show. I'm Andrea Morehead, your community impact anchor, and I'm so excited to have this wonderful, lovely couple sitting here to my left. This is Charlie and Cindy Vitz. Now, my husband and I, he's an Archie and I'm an Andrea, so I love the fact that you both have C's.
And our son has the C too.
What's your son's name?
Caleb.
And Caleb.
So we're the three C's.
The three C's. I love it. Thank you all so much for being here.
It's our
You
pleasure.
all are ReJoyce Financial clients. How did you get to know Alexander and the ReJoyce Financial team?
Well, I'd say it was just a matter of timing, God's timing for that matter. When I, after COVID or during the COVID time, my career plans kind of changed. I had planned on working for a few more years, and when COVID came, I couldn't do the job that I was doing, which involved a lot of travel, meeting people across the country and so on.
And you were an engineer at IMMI.
Engineer, program manager, marketing development manager. So I carried a lot of different titles over the years, but when the last 10 years, pretty much representing the company and going out, working with different people from federal government to states, local districts, just quite a few people. But when COVID came, I was locked in at my home and wasn't able to do the job that I really wanted to do. So it came to the point that maybe retirement might have been a good opportunity for me. So ended up making the decision to retire at the end of 2020.
How old were you, if you don't mind my asking?
At that point, I was 66, but like I said, I was really enjoying my work, but decided to retire and wasn't really as prepared for it as I thought I was going to be.
What does that mean when you say you weren't prepared?
Well, you don't really think about it because when you're actively working and all your focus seems to be on your job, and that includes the financial aspects of saving for retirement. You save up the money, but you're not really ready to now take that money you saved and do something properly with it. And as I found out, there were a lot of things that I have really had to consider that I had just never considered before, even from basics of taxation to distributions.
What have you learned about yourselves individually as well as a couple? Because it's changed. Your relationship, I'm sure, has changed somewhat because you are home now more often and you still have your honey-do list.
Yeah.
That's a great question. I don't know. You don't really think about what you've learned about yourself. One of the things that I very quickly learned was to really understand what retirement was. Because, you hear the word, and then again, like Cindy mentioned, it's going down to Florida and being on a golf course all the time and so on. And I was very active when working, and just to stop and do that was just not in my DNA. So what I looked at retirement as being as a new phase in life. And just as God is taking you through each phase of life and then that prepares you for the next one, I am now making that transition from the working phase into how am I going to be useful in my this next phase of life.
You mentioned something earlier about wealth. How do you define wealth now? I'll start with you, Cindy.
I think wealth to us is just being content. Our home, we've been in our home now we built it 28 years, 28 years. And it's like God has made us, he said we are his temple, he dwells within us, and we want our home to be like that so that when people come in, they feel very comfortable.
Last question. The fact that ReJoyce, I mean, make no mistake, there's a faith component to that as well. Did that make you more apt to say, let's work together?
I think we felt that.
I think, yes.
Alex said the first time we met with him, and he talked about that, and when God calls us home, and we were like, what? Oh, okay. This it kind of goes with what we are thinking. Yeah. So that made an impression on us.
I think it always has been in the back of our minds that has been there, but I don't know that it really seems to influence any real specific decision, but I think it's, as I said, in the back of our mind that is a guidance.
Made us comfortable.
Made it a holistic approach to it.
Yes.
Coming up on the Retirement Halftime Show, Andrea Morehead reports on the Indiana Diaper Bank, how the investments made here will grow over a lifetime. But next, the ways an exchange-traded fund could work inside your portfolio, why some people prefer them over mutual funds. Don't let anxiety ruin your retirement. Get a second opinion about your current plan. Call the experts at ReJoyce Financial today at 317-903-9157 and see if you're on the right track.
The journey to retirement takes many twists and turns. Don't take that trip alone. Let the team at ReJoyce Financial be your co-pilot. The expert team of financial planners can create a roadmap that gets you to your goals. They'll work with you to create a financial plan that gives you confidence and peace of mind. Start the process today. Call 317-903-9157 or text 707-ReJoyce. Let us help you rejoice in retirement.
The best coaches improve your game. Work with the best financial coach in the game. Alexander Joyce and ReJoyce Financial can get your retirement game plan in order. Call 317-903-9157 to schedule a visit now.
You're watching the Retirement Halftime Show, powered by ReJoyce Financial.
You're watching the Retirement Halftime Show. I'm your host, Alexander Joyce. With me today is one of our advisors, Joel Parody, and we are talking specifically on the topic, Joel, of ETFs, right? And I think some people get that confused with EFTs, right? And so that we certainly know that people don't know, right? And I think that we expect them sometimes in our industry to know. And so what we try to do is we try to pull that back a little bit, give proper education. Of course, a show like ours, we never give recommendations because we don't know the people. Right. We do want to know the people, but from a more emotional and goal-based level. What's in it for them? What are we trying to paint? What are we trying to create? What is in it for them? And so we do a show like this, of course, the Retirement Halftime Show, to educate and to give people something that they can palate, right, from a basic perspective. So we'll talk high level. Joel, being an advisor, we see a lot of ETFs. What is an ETF?
Yeah, well, it stands for Exchange Traded Fund, right? It's kind of a crossbreed between a mutual fund, where it's got a pool of investments inside of it, and a stock, where it trades on an exchange. These ETFs, like mutual funds, can have a directive or a goal based on a sector, based on trying to match the S&P 500, the Russell 2000, the Dow, anything like that. But they operate at lower expenses.
That's important, right? I mean, anytime you can buy something at a lower cost but still get significant value, right? I mean, that's a good deal, right? And I think that there is a bit of confusion from like when we picture this 401k, most people understand how a 401k works, right? Is it true? And people ask me this all the time, right? And so I'll just throw it at you. Is it true that people should view or can view a 401k like a big walking, talking mutual fund?
Not really, no. 401ks are quite a bit different, actually. A 401k is an employer plan in which there are mutual funds, but you can have a lot of different types of mutual funds, and there is no fund manager inside that 401k. The mutual fund has one fund manager that's focused on the goal of the mutual fund.
It's very important. I mean, that is a rock solid answer. I mean, I can understand that, right? And I think that from a pure ETF standpoint, when we say no expenses, another big question that we've been asked is, can an ETF actually hold individual stocks?
Yeah, absolutely it can. Yeah, it depends on the goal of the ETF, right? So a tech one might have more tech stocks inside of it. An S&P 500 ETF is going to have a more broad range of stocks inside of it.
Very good. Another question would be, people want to know. I don't want you to put you on the spot, Joel, but we get asked these questions all the time. So there's this thing called NAV, right? Net asset value. From an ETF standpoint, can you actually get out of that ETF during the market? Market naturally opens at 9:30 Eastern, closes at 4. Are we stuck inside of that thing?
Right. So on an ETF, you actually can trade it through the day, anytime, and you can trade it at the net asset value, the price that it's listed at on the exchange, versus a mutual fund. Well, that gets priced daily at the end of the day. So you can't really have that liquidity that you would get with an ETF.
Got to write it out.
Yeah.
And I think that's very important. Would you consider an ETF being an actively managed asset class?
Not normally, no. You can find some more actively managed ETFs, but most of them are a bit more passive.
Got it. I think that's important. And from a well-rounded, diversified perspective, right? You would agree, I don't know, I mean, these things, this style of investments, if you will, probably fit somewhere inside of an overall well-managed portfolio?
Yeah, there's a place for everything inside of a well-diversified portfolio, right? It all just depends on the individual. The goals
and understanding what's in it for them, right? I mean, when we look at the goal of a family, whether that's building wealth, right? Whether that's filling an income gap, right? We got Social Security pension in one hand, and we got a lifestyle on the other. We've got this big gray area in between. And so when we're painting the picture of income, complete income, the income story, if you will, and where does that fit? How can we, from a tax perspective, right? We think of that, right? Some people are getting a 1099 from a fund, right, where they never even sold it and had to realize those gains from an ETF. Maybe kind of walk me through that. Is that likely also to happen?
Yeah, with a more passive goal, like an ETF would have, you're not going to have those capital gains as often, right? So it's just going to be more passive. Yeah,
it's just better,
exactly.
Right? I mean, I don't know about better, but it fits somewhere in the overall goal and picture. When you're working with a firm like ours, being holistic and not just understanding the differences between, mutual funds, ETFs, individual stocks, fixed income, bond securities, right, debt securities, and duration, right? When we're looking at the full picture and understanding how that correlates from, again, an estate planning goal, a tax planning goal, a financial planning goal, having the complete team inside of one roof just really works. If anything, not just because we can walk down the hall and talk to your CPA, right, but the power of understanding the communication, that's the secret sauce, right? And so, Joel, I thank you for your time. I hope this has been extremely helpful. Stick around, folks. There's more show to come.
Still ahead on the Retirement Halftime Show, Andrea Morehead takes us inside the Indiana Diaper Bank. But don't expect to find any gold or silver in this vault. The kinds of deposits are after.
Get a second opinion about your retirement plan. Schedule a no-cost, no-obligation visit with the experts at ReJoyce Financial. Call 317-903-9157 now and rejoice in your retirement.
Our friend is back. Her compassion, her connection to the community, that smile.
I'm all about a pivot.
ReJoyce Financial is proud to welcome Andrea Morehead as our community impact anchor. The stories seen on the Retirement Halftime Show.
What would you say to someone who's contemplating becoming a volunteer? How would you encourage them?
Follow Andrea and make ReJoyce Financial a part of your family too.
You're watching the Retirement Halftime Show, powered by ReJoyce Financial.
ReJoyce Financial gives back with Andrea Morehead, highlighting the people and organizations making life better in our community.
You're watching the Retirement Halftime Show. Alexander Joyce and here with Andrea Morehead, our community impact anchor. And we are talking about the Indiana Diaper Bank.
Well, did you know that diapers are a luxury? They're not a necessity. So if you're financially insecure, government funds do not cover the cost of diapers. But the Indiana Diaper Bank, they are really filling in the gap to make sure that our babies and our toddlers stay dry. Take a look.
I was once a mom that was in need, and had I known something around, like this organization would be around when my daughter was that small, I could have benefited from this so much.
Anastasia Wingo was first to volunteer for the Indiana Diaper Bank.
The back label, we always do little inserts where moms can track the stages of their babies.
And now she's the program and volunteer coordinator, leading caring people who are making babies smile one clean diaper at a time.
We're finding a lot of families are changing only once or twice a day because those are the only diapers they have, or they're saving their diapers because you have to have a certain amount of diapers for daycare each day. So they're saving those diapers and trying to get them to stretch, or washing those diapers, or putting in newspaper as a liner or toilet paper to try to stretch diapers even longer.
Ashley Burns is president and CEO of Indiana Diaper Bank. It's hard to imagine a diaper as a luxury item, but in the state of Indiana, it is, which means government financial assistance can't be used for this basic necessity. While the need is great, inflation makes meeting their mission challenging.
May 2022, we were distributing between 30 and 40,000 diapers a month. In May 2023, we distributed 171,000. With additional need, we were unable to provide that.
But the Diaper Bank has been filling in the gap for almost 6 years. In fact, Indiana was one of the last 2 states in the country to have a nonprofit diaper bank.
I always tell people, especially our young volunteers, I always tell them, can you imagine running out of toilet paper? That's what babies feel when they don't have enough diapers. You yelling, "Mom, can you bring me tissue?" Babies can't do that.
They are the baby's voice, and they answer the call to provide diapers to 44 partners, including Eskenazi and St. Vincent de Paul.
Their needs have increased by double and triple.
And 23 other organizations are on the waiting list. How do you get the diapers to people who need them?
So these diapers are in 25s because research says that if a family's in need, they're in need of either 25 to 50 diapers.
The diapers are put in bundles of 25, from newborn to pull-ups.
Boone County put in this request for their community. And so our volunteers will start with size 5 newborn.
Size 5 newborn.
Yeah.
And more volunteers are needed to help pack orders, clean the warehouse, and stock the shelves.
So you'll go down to the next size. And here are some 3s.
Each one of our bundles of diapers, we have here too where we write whoever bundles them. It's really important for us to tell the community who is there, supporting the community as well. If these are also sponsored by a company, then we write the name on there too.
They also accept your diaper donations. You can check their website for Dropbox sites.
We'll have stuff that's been donated, the little lotions, or we'll get clothes that people give us, or swim diapers over there.
Yes,
so we always put this on the free cart, so when they come and pick up their orders, if they
There's
know their community
Mm-hmm.
needs something over here, they may grab that as well.
So it's diapers and more.
Yeah.
Diapers and
Yeah.
more. 20% of their supply come from drop sites, while 80% of what they distribute is purchased wholesale. They could use your financial assistance to increase their warehouse space and buy more diapers to serve more community partners. Has there ever been a month where you're like, I don't know if we're going to make it. I don't know if we're going to have enough diapers?
So we definitely, I feel like every month we're getting closer and closer to that. Right now, also the supply chain, we're having a hard time getting some of the sizes 4 and 6. I'm going to have to tell my partners we're going to be low on.
The Diaper Bank depends on the community to help them continue serving the community, as they have for over 5 years.
We've given over 2 million diapers, which I'm so proud of, to over 67,000 babies.
The cost of diapers went up 30% last year. Is this your life's calling?
It is.
Increasing the need, but hoping the Indiana Diaper Bank will someday close.
We really want the mission, which is eliminating diaper need. We believe in the mission, and we're going to do it. We're not going to give up until we do.
And again, as all of our nonprofits, they need volunteers, of course, and financial donations. We certainly hope you can answer the call. For more information, just go to our website, ReJoyceFinancial.com/Andrea.
Thank you, Adrian. Stay tuned, folks. There's more show to go.
Rejoice in your retirement with ReJoyce Financial. Now, let's say your doctor told you need a major surgery. Well, it might be a good idea to get a second opinion. If a mechanic told you your car needs an expensive repair, you might get a second opinion. Well, is your retirement performing like you think it should? Hey, if not, why not get a second opinion on that? I mean, after all, your retirement is important. Tell you what you do. Call Alexander Joyce at ReJoyce Financial. Now, Alex's number is 317-903-9157. Look, Alex will always make sure your retirement is performing to meet your needs, and it costs absolutely nothing to get that second opinion. Alex and his staff, first thing they'll do, they'll get to know you and your needs. Don't retire with just enough to get by. Rejoice in your retirement with ReJoyce Financial.
Today's tip of the week for stronger financial health. Prepaid spending cards are a convenient and secure way to avoid overspending on credit cards. Prepaid spending cards are also known as prepaid debit cards. They are reloadable payment cards that work just like regular debit cards. Money can be loaded onto the card through direct deposit or in-person reloads. Most of these cards can be used almost anywhere, whether it's in-store or online. They swipe, insert, or tap just like a regular debit or credit card does. But be aware of the fees associated with these types of cards. Some have activation fees, transaction fees, and monthly maintenance fees. And unlike credit cards, prepaid spending cards may not offer the same level of protection in case of fraudulent transactions or disputes. Always read the terms and conditions thoroughly before using a prepaid spending card. That way you'll know exactly what you're signing up for and avoid any surprises down the road. That's today's tip of the week for stronger financial health.
You're watching the Retirement Halftime Show, powered by ReJoyce Financial.
Thank you for watching the Retirement Halftime Show. If you have questions about today's show, give us a call, send us a text, or go to our website. Most importantly, maintain your lead in retirement. I'm Alexander Joyce, and I'll see you next time.
Dream of retirement full of traveling to exotic places? Or is your dream driving through the countryside in an RV? Maybe you just want to spend time with your loved ones. Whatever your desires are, make them happen. The retirement planning experts at ReJoyce Financial have retired thousands of people into their dream retirement. You can be next. Take the first step today and schedule a no-cost, no-obligation visit. Call 317-903-9157 and let's discuss your dream retirement. Then let the team of ReJoyce Financial craft a plan that makes it happen. You don't have to plan for retirement on your own. ReJoyce Financial can help you every step of the way. Take a leap of faith. Call today and rejoice in your retirement.